Lovely. Nice bit of music, Seamus, there from the gramophone music.
Yes. It reminds me of my youth.
Does it?
We had a gramophone one time. My father bought it in the county Cavan stores for 12 and 6.
It could have looked like that one. Maybe was it different? Was it older or bigger?
No, it wasn't. There was no this on it.
No horn on it. It was built-in model.
Yeah, built in. That was great. So we used to, every Sunday after dinner we'd put it on and play the records.
And of course we're talking about the old 78 records, Seamus. They weren't like what we call a record anymore.
No, they were, if you let them fall, they were gone.
They were gone.
Yeah, they were like a plate.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, we're in the company, everybody watching, of the wonderful Seamus Fay. Seamus, a legend. And in culture of Ireland, mouth music, or jigging, portabale, are all terms to describe lilting, the use of the tongue, diddly diddly. And Seamus is a lilter, a dancer, a singer, and a wonderful storyteller of tradition. Hand it down, he's going to tell us the stories, and we're just lucky to capture him here in the beautiful setting of the Town Hall in Cavan. And with thanks to Cavan County Council and Cavan Arts Office and Katrina Riley and our vision to document the wonderful history of the county in music, song and dance. And we're here in the presence of a legend. I'm Martin Donohoe. I'm just lucky to be in his company because he influenced me greatly in my growing up. Seamus was the first man to come into my house in College Street and bring in the records. Not a gramophone record, the old vinyl record. And he brought in cassette tapes and he shared them with me, and I heard all that music that Seamus had gathered. And we're just lucky to share with you, the listeners today, a chance to capture the voice and the stories of Seamus Fay from Drumconnick, County Cavan. Seamus Fay has recorded at 70 years of age. He made his first CD. He had been featured on Kyoto's tours. He competed in competitions. He won All-Ireland flag hills. And along with that, he celebrates, in the year 2020, in the year of COVID-19, he'll be celebrating his 88th birthday, young. So Seamus, thanks for taking time, bringing back memories, the gramophone, as you said. But you as a person, you're from Drumconnick. Tell our listeners where Drumconnick is.
Drumconnick's right near the Radisson Hotel. It's not far, it's about 2 miles from Dabby Bar to our house.
And of course you grew up and lived there all your life.
All my life, yeah.
And I have memories of Mammy and Daddy.
That's right. Born in 1932, the 20th of December. It was a Christmas box.
What a great Christmas box. And you keep giving every year, so you do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And of course there's a family all well, all over the world.
All over there. Kitty's in America, Owen's in America. Rita's in America from 1956. They're home now 6 years in Ballyhaise and bought a house there.
Lovely.
So we're all still alive so far.
And of course, Owen and Kitty over in beautiful America.
Yeah.
They get visits back for flag hills and
Yeah.
they've enjoyed the music over there. And Rita spent her time in America and got to meet her on my trips over there. And of course, the three is at home, apart from Rita coming home in Ballyhaise. We have Eileen down in Newton Butler.
Yeah.
You enjoy your trips down to Newton Butler?
Yes.
Eileen and Sean.
We go down every Christmas day for the dinner.
And she loves her dancing.
Yes, she loves the set dancing.
And of course, at home with yourself in Drumconnick is the wonderful Donny Fay.
Donny Fay, yeah.
Donny Fay. And of course, you all live and breed Irish music, song and dance. But you like everything, Seamus. I know from you.
No, I like all kinds of music, country and western, I think.
You're a great love of it.
You know, I listen
What's your first memories of music?
The gramophone would be the first.
Gramophone.
Yeah, the gramophone would be the first. My granny she lived up in Knockahistya, and she used to walk into Cavan 4 miles, buy a record in Connolly Brothers and bring it out to us, because she had no gramophone, and we'd play it, and then she gave it to us. The 78s, Michael Coleman and all them, James Morrison. So that was the way I started music.
What age do you think you were then, Seamus?
Sure, wouldn't be, wait till you see now. Maybe 8 or 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there any instruments in the house?
No. Well, my mother played the accordion.
Right, a melodeon.
Melodeon.
Wee
yeah,
melodeon.
Yeah. She played it a bit.
Kathleen Fay.
Yeah,
A great memories of Mammy. She was a wonderful woman in my early days at Kyoto's.
That's right.
She came in with you everywhere and loved the tea and the crack, and Mrs. Riley at College Street, and Paddy McEntee and Joe Baxter and Jim Taylor, John James Miney, Jimmy Cassidy. It's like it's like the Rosary.
It is.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
Great people.
And then when I was young, I was when we'd come from school long ago, my mother would send us up to Granny's every Friday night, and we'd stay there till Sunday night. And Friday night, we'd sit around the fire. It was 1939 or 40, and there was no lamp oil was scarce. She'd put out the lamp, and we'd sit around the turf fire, and she'd lit the whole time. So that's where I picked it up.
Granny Lilton.
Yeah, Granny Lilton.
And Knocknatisha, that's Stradone, Seamus.
No,
Where was it?
Knocknahiska. It's
Knocknahiska.
up near Pullabone,
Pullabone.
where my father come from.
Right.
Yeah. So
How would you have got up there?
we'd walk.
Right. From
Yeah,
Drumconnick.
From Drumconnick. It was 4 or 5 miles. But you were young then and we didn't, you would run it, man, now. So then Saturday night too, we'd sit around the fire and she'd light the lamp for us to go to bed. Because oil was scarce down, you couldn't get lamp oil, you know. So that was my start, and that's how I started the Lilton. But she was great, like when she was young, there'd be weddings in the parish, and there'd come a pony and trap and bring her to Lilt for the dancers. Because there was no hotels at them, the whole parties were taking part in the bride's house. And she'd be brought to Lilt for the set dancing.
Wow. She was like a entertainment.
Entertainment.
And they collected her, Seamus.
They collected her a pony and trap.
And were they giving her any rewards?
No, she'd get a drop of wine down in the parlour,
Right.
and the men got bottles of stout in the kitchen.
Right. So this was the house session.
That was the house party,
Right.
yeah. So that was the way she went on. And she maybe three or four times in the month, maybe she'd be brought. Who would weddings at him, you know.
Wonderful memories of her,
Wonderful
Seamus.
memories, yeah.
And of course, I have memories of listening to your mother Lilton, Kathleen Lilton as
yeah,
well. She was a
yeah.
wonderful Lilter.
She's a kind of a handed down thing. My granny was a Lilter, my mother was a Lilter. Rita played the fiddle, Owen played the box. So we're all into music.
Oh, and dancing. Don't he love the dancing?
Yeah, don't we love the
I
dance?
remember him and hanging around great music in the early years. We were growing
That's
up.
right, yeah.
Only for yourself, Seamus. I don't know if what your memories of Martin Donohoe is, but I mean memories of you coming into College Street to Molly.
That's right, upstairs.
Upstairs, and the room was full of music. And Marion had gone at that stage. She was probably married and moved away, and the house
Right,
was full
yeah,
of records and
yeah.
tapes. And you were a great, great influence on me. You probably didn't know it, but those days you had so many records. Tell the story of where these records came from.
Well, you see, in 1966, I started driving school buses. And I was driving them for a couple of months. And then Paddy Laden down in Swanlinbar get sick, and they sent me down to go for his job to Swanlinbar to Dublin every day on the express.
1966.
Yeah.
I was only 2 years old. Right.
So I'd bring the bus to Dublin and go down, get the dinner behind Cleary's. There was a workman's club there, CIA Workman's Club. And I'd come out then and go to the first place I go to a record shop and buy the LPs. So LP came out about it. That's why I have so many of them now.
Wonderful. And you shared them with everybody.
Yeah, sure.
You're a great man, so
Yeah.
you are still doing it. You're still encouraging. You're always a great encourager, both with the Kiltlas, youngsters and the
Yeah.
music. And then, of course, you got into the competitions. So you Irish music listeners, you lilted at home, Granny lilted, Mother lilted. But you went a step further, Seamus. You perfected it and entered the competitions.
That's right.
And there is a competition for our listeners in the world of lilting.
There is. And the first woman to put me in was Brady Galligan, the late Brady Galligan. She put me in and I entered the Cavan flag first,
Right.
then the Ulster, and then the All Ireland. That was in 59.
Where was it in 59?
In Thurles.
Wow.
Thurles.
How did you get on?
I won the first.
Well, you won it.
The first,
No
yeah.
problem to you.
No, well, I don't know if it's a problem, but I won it anyway.
Who was the judge? Can you remember?
Pat Kilduff was one of them.
Wow,
There was 2 or
famous
3 of them
Pat.
at the table, yeah. And there was 13 or 14 in the competition.
And how did you get to that far? Had you a car at home
We
at that time?
hired out a van from Tom Montgomery.
You hired a van out.
Hired a van out
Wow.
for the
And off to
weekend.
the flat.
Off of the flat. John Reilly was with me. Sean Woods, Kitty, Paddy McGowan, the dead too. And there was 3 or 4 of us in the van with a mattress in it.
Wow. 1959.
9, yeah. And then in 1960 I went to Boyle, to the All Ireland Flat in Boyle, and I won there.
Right.
And then 61 in Swinford, I won there.
You won there. Right.
And then I went to, I retired then for 6 or 7 years, and went back to Cashel in 69, and I won it. So I never entered since.
God, you want to give someone else a chance? There you are. We talk about Cavan culture and we talk about sport, and we're wonderful in 2020, the successes of both ladies and men in football sport. And you love your Drumalee football, and
Yeah,
you love your
right.
County Cavan football, but you love the fact that a
I
wonderful local man,
played
Seamus Fay,
14
went
years
full
with
on
Drumalee.
Ireland.
I played for 14 years. Yeah, with Drumalee.
Did you know Tommy Malloy?
Oh, well.
Great friend.
Great character.
And what about Sean Woods? You mentioned Sean, a great accordion player.
Yes, great character.
And this town hall, what memories is it for you, Seamus, in them years? Was the Dr. Galligan in your life? Would you met Dr. Galligan?
Well, there was great concerts. Dr. Gallagher on the site of big concerts here. Brought up people from Clare and everywhere. So, of course, the Cayleys every Sunday night was the big thing.
In the town hall?
Yeah.
In Cavan.
You'd be looking in the cell the Friday before to see what band was coming. Could be Dassaro, it could be the Fitzgerald brothers, it could be Eugene Leddy, the Lynch brothers.
In this very building, where we're sitting today?
We're sitting today, yeah. 8 to 12 every Sunday night.
Wow. And would there be many at it?
Oh, it'd be full. If you didn't get in, you wouldn't get a seat after 8 o'clock.
And they danced all night?
They danced everything out the whole night.
Wow.
For 4 hours.
And did you go into them, Seamus?
I did, mostly like. If you had the half crown.
You needed the half crown.
You had the half crown again.
And you told me a great story, and it always stayed with me, the fact that you used to come in on the bicycle.
That's right.
And there was no street lights like we know, sodium lights and LED lights now.
There was no. And sometimes you'd leave your bike up the barricade at Fay's shop. There was a Fay's shop that time.
Right.
And if you weren't up there before 12, the lights used to go out at 12.
Okay.
You get your bike. And you change maybe into Wellingtons or something. Cause
and you told me a great story. I always loved the story that sometimes you'd leave your bike and then you come back and you might get a better bike.
That's right.
You could take somebody else's then,
Yeah.
or somebody would take yours.
Yeah.
Great stories, like.
Great stories. Then we used to go up to the carnivals. We'd up one time to Kinnelector carnival. And there must have been 100 bikes outside in the bike park. And when you come out then at 12 o'clock looking for your bike, all the pedals be going into the spokes.
Oh.
And you'd be pulling and dragging at them.
After the carnival.
After the carnival, yeah.
And tell me this, Margaret Riley, we're being recorded today by a young man from Gowna, Padraig Connerty, but I mean, that's his area of County Cavan, Gowna,
right.
And you were great friends with Margaret Riley. You introduced me to her, another legend.
That's right.
The late Margaret O'Reilly.
Yeah, she was famous, yeah.
And a singer.
She had 9 All Islands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great memories of her again.
We travelled everywhere, me and her. And another Seamus Fay, up at Owen Road Terrace. He was a great singer too.
Wow.
He travelled with us. Owen used to come too, he used to play on the accordion. So we had some great time. We travelled, we were down in Ballyhaig one time, and when we went down there was Seamus Connolly after winning the cup.
Wow.
And we all had to take a drink out of it. But Mrs. Reilly was a pioneer, she wouldn't take anything out of it.
Wow. And that's Ballyhaig in Kerry?
Kerry, yeah.
Wow.
But the whole day travelling.
Well, all these people watching to this, and thanks again to Cavan County Council for sharing it and making it available, they'll all want you to do something, Seamus.
Yes.
Are you in the humour for a little?
I'll do a couple of jigs.
And do you find it hard to learn the tunes?
No, they come naturally to me. If I hear a tune today, it comes into my head maybe in a couple of days. I happen to learn it. Well, see, you can't learn Lilton anyway. You have to have it in you.
Right.
Yeah, I think anyway.
So you started Lilton at 8 or 9?
Well,
Maybe older.
Around that, yeah.
Around that.
Yeah.
And here we are in 2020, and you're going to Lilt again. The wonderful Seamus Fay, everybody, from Drumconnick in Cavan. What are you doing, Seamus?
I do a couple of jigs.
Couple of jigs.
Yeah.
In your own time, Seamus Fay.
Dal 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 da dee dal 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 da dee dumpel dal dal da dee dal dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dee dal dal diddly dal dumpel dee dal dal diddly dal dee da dal 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 da dee dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dee dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dee dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dal diddly dal dee da dal dal da you dal da da dee dumpel dal da you dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dee dal da dee dumpel dal da dee dal dee dal dal da you dal da dee dumpel dal da you dal diddly dal dumpel dee da dal da you dal da dee up dee da dal diddly dal dee da dal da you dal da you dal da dee da you dal dee dal da hurry da dal da you dal da dee da dal dee dal da hurry da dal da dee da dee dal da dee da dal da hurry da dee dal da dee da dee dal da dee dal da dee dal da dee dal da dal da dee dal dee dal da hurry da dal da you dal da dee dal da dee dal da hurry da dal da dee da dee
Oh, lovely, Seamus. Wonderful stuff there, everyone. I'm sure you're at home now saying, what a wonderful man. And you are. You take it for granted, you're a humble man, but I know from your peers and people in the past have spoken highly of you. You've been featured on radio, on television.
Yeah.
You've recorded. You waited till you were 70, Seamus, to make your CD, and it was so well received.
Yeah.
Earl Hitchner in New York voted in the top 3 that year in the New York Times. And you've been recognised and awarded anything that's ever been there. Wonderful man of culture. And it's just through the art of Lilton.
Yeah.
What about youngsters? Some of them have come to your door. I know Katrina Cullivan, Aoife Murray. They come from Cork. They come from America. They want to research you. Do you find that fun? Do you enjoy that?
I do, yeah, but like, you want to have great memories to do at my age now, you know.
You're not doing bad now. They love you. You're great. You're documented, I know, in Limerick and in Cork and in Dublin. And they've all documented you and recorded
I'll do
you.
a couple of Harlem House now.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. The more the better, Seamus. So any names of these? Are you any good at the names?
New Century is the first one.
Oh, right.
And Murphy's is the next one.
Right. Lovely. Oh, lovely. That wonderful Fintan Valley, Dr. Fintan Valley, renowned musicologist, he documented you and talked about you and talked about your broad vowels and the use of the below D. And Lilter, of course, there's different forms around the world. Yeah. And as we talked about, some people in Clare call it jigging, is that right, Seamus?
Galway and all them places.
All around there.
Yeah.
And of course, there's been great music. I know Sean Reid was one of your adjudicators, and what did he describe you in the adjudication sheet that time when he listened to you? What did he say you were? Can you remember what he said? It was like listening to a...
Yeah, next thing to a Ceilidh band.
To a Ceilidh band. That was a great compliment. When you think about it, a man with a humble instrument from within. Yes. And you sounded like the drums and the fiddles and the flutes and the accordions and the concertinas. You made them all come together, Seamus.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's great, as I say, to have this chance today to bring in and talk and hear the stories and share them.
Yeah.
And I know that your recording featured a wonderful track or two with your late mother. And Anton McGowan, a wonderful friend of yours from Donohoe, he came down to your house. Can you remember him coming?
Oh, dear. It was a Sunday. It must have been about 1973. And he had a wee recorder with him, and he recorded me and my mother listening at the fire.
Together?
Yeah, together.
It's lovely, in unison.
Yeah. So now it's on the CD.
And that's so important. We played it on the radio, on the show, and we featured it. And that CD was received all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's simply called Seamus Fay, the Cavan Lilter. And you do sing songs as well, Seamus?
I do, yeah.
You love the songs as well.
Yeah.
I know we're nearly coming to an end, but have you a wee reel or anything you'd like to give?
I'll do a bit of a, what do you call it? Arkle Mountain.
Oh, lovely. Of course, we can't finish the show without, you're a wonderful listener to radio.
Yeah.
With gramophone records and LPs and cassettes. Yeah. But you also love the radio. I know Nancy na Custala is a regular turn on. You listen to her.
I never miss her.
And of course, Pather O'Riordan on a Friday.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, you've always listened to your Shannon Say Northern Sound. You've listened to Midland Radio. Yes. You're regular there. Paddy Duffy. So wherever you're located in Drumconic, you have great radio reception. All my life I've been influenced by Seamus's fascination with listening in Ireland. Yeah. And I wouldn't play or sing today. And there'd be no All-Irelands in Cavan, only for people like Seamus Fay that kept this tradition alive. And I know you were there. The All-Ireland was in this town in 54. Is that right, Seamus?
That's correct.
You have memories of that?
I have.
The Kilfanora had come to town and all the great players.
Yeah. And it was all done round here in the town hall.
The town hall.
Dr. Gallion nearly done it on his own.
Wow, 54. And then, of course, we brought 3 All-Irelands, and you were the president of the flag, Killian Smith, in 2010, 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Bigger crowd then?
Oh, no, you couldn't move in the town. You couldn't move.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was great.
And you done a great job. You served the role of Uachtaráin, the president of Cultus that year for Flag Kjol, and you met everybody, and you were on television and radio during that time, and you were always available. And in the middle of that, you still turned up and done what you done here today. You just sat down, you tapped your foot, and you lilted. So Seamus Fay, thanks very much on behalf of Cavan County Council, of the Cultus branches throughout Ireland, and all the music lovers. And as I say, it's very important the work that was done today. I thank Padraig Connerty and his team here today, making sure that we document a living legend. This is the real Mackay, the pure drop. and it's wonderful, Seamus, as I say. We started with a gramophone record from 1928. You weren't even born when Ed Reevy from Barna Grove, Cotill, recorded those tunes there. We listened to a bit of the Boys at Lock. 1932 you came into the world, Seamus.
Yes,
is that right?
yeah.
Well, Seamus, thanks very much for your time.
Will
and
I
a
do
bit
the
of a
two reels?
Would you do two? Oh, don't.
Oh, one anyway, maybe.
Well, this one anyway, I know was a great tune. It's named after a local landmark here, the Arkle Mountain, isn't that right?
As you go up to Kinnelake.
As you head up to Kinnelake.
Yeah.
And it's a young man wrote this tune. I think he's a young lad from England. Tony Sullivan wrote this tune. He was a friend of Dr. Gallagher's.
That's right.
And he used to visit him in Kinlalek, and of course the Arkle Mountain was a landmark. So he wrote a reel called
They went up to Kinnelake one time and they pulled in at Arkle Mountain.
And that's where he got the inspiration. Did you ever write tunes yourself, Seamus?
No.
Never? Have you any idea how many tunes you learned in your life? How many, Seamus?
Oh, I'd say there'd be hundreds.
Hundreds, thousands, I'd be afraid to say.
No, I'd say there's hundreds anyway.
Oh, no.
You know.
There's a lot of learning in what you do, and as I say, you're not shy. Charlie Lennon compositions, Paddy O'Brien compositions, you're not afraid of any tune, and you make it your own because you're just great. And no wonder you won 4 All-Irelands. We can't do it in sport, but we've done it in culture. And Seamus Fay, a pleasure today. The Arkle Mountain. Seamus Fay from Cavan. Drumconic. Class.
That's it now. The bed's getting very short.
Well, the great man himself once said about you, Jerry Whelan and Cotill, he says you can't do that and smoke woodbines. And that's very true. And Seamus, a pleasure, and thanks to everyone involved in making this happen, because I know in 50 years from now, neither me or you will be here, and they'll be still looking and listening to you, Seamus.
Hopefully.
Because, you'll be there. Seamus Fay, everybody.